What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Haze Demon Show. And today we are gonna be going over the brand new 2020 tier list for South Park Phone Destroyers superheroes. That's right, the first time ever actually that we're gonna be doing superheroes. So we don't have anything on the background right now, since we just simply don't have anything to compare. Last time we were comparing the old list to the new list. There is no old list. There could have been, maybe, but I wanted to wait until I seen some more cards released for them, and I wanted to feel more comfortable about my opinions with each one of these cards. The main thing that I can say is that I have been playing for the last over 2 years in the top 200 or 300, give or take. In the top of the rank leaderboard, and also mostly I play sci-fi fantasy. I have strong mystical cards, so most of this is some of it from my own experience of playing the cards, but also from playing against other people at the highest ranks that have high level cards of each one of these cards. We're mostly pretty much just comparing these cards for level 4 legendaries, level 5 epics, level 6 rares, and level 7 commons. Keep that in mind. And also how well the card can do on its own consistently, not really needing the help of other cards in order to do its job efficiently. So without further ado, make sure to check out my other tier list videos. We did adventure, sci-fi, fantasy, mystical, and neutral, right? And now we're doing the last one, which is superheroes. And then I'm going to be continuing to do rarity tier list, which we did common and rares, and then the next one's going to be epic, and then legendary, etc, etc, etc. I've got some plenty of tier list videos for South Park Phone Destroyer coming up this year, early year, but then yep. Anyway, so without further ado, let's go ahead and begin our journey through the superhero theme. First card is going to be Lava, the 3-cost card. It is, you put lava on the ground and it slows them down. It's a totem. It does damage over time. And I feel like the card is okay. I just don't feel like it's that great of a card. It does have a decent area of effect that it does, but I just feel like the defensive card is just not that versatile. I mean, you can use it, but there's a good chance that either it's just not going to do enough damage, or you just can't use the card at all. The slow motion is not that bad, though. I mean, you can combo it with other cards, but it's not going to win you games, and I don't really feel like it can trade energy value efficiently. I mean, you're gonna need something to still work with this in order to win. It's not, maybe if it was like double the size of its area, it could definitely be higher on the list, but right now it just doesn't feel that strong to me. And then we've got up next, it's gonna be its counterpart, Superfar C+. I kind of like this card, even though I don't really use it very much at all when I do play superheroes. But I do kind of like it because it blows the whole entire side of your field over to theirs. Now, there can be times where this backfires and it just helps your opponent be able to build up their push. But when it comes to like key cards, I'm getting so tongue-tied today. Key cards like Dougie is the big one. But it can also blow away all of swarms and just kill them off, or any low health units. So it's really not too bad. It does a pretty good job of stalling and having good energy trade value. But I think the next card coming up here, which is going to be Chomper, the 2-cost trap card. The other one's not a totem, it's a trap card. And this is also a trap card. It's a rare card. The other two were common cards. Let me get woke here. Chat, we're trying to get woke here. The 2-cost Chomper. The only reason this card is so good. I wish I could put it higher on the list. The only reason why it's not higher on the list is because you can't put this trap on your opponent's side of the field. If you could do that, this card would be an S tier card easily. But being only on your side, it really can, I mean, obviously limits it substantially. But it's a 2-cost trap card. You put it down, it has a certain amount of time that it sits there. It's not really that long of a time. I wish it was like double the amount of time that it sat on the field, and I would feel like you could set up sort of like a minefield in a way. Like you could eventually rotate to where you have 2 of them on the field at the same time from this one trap card, but not a big deal, whatever. If you can use this card correctly, you're able to hit at least 2 units at one time. I've tried to hit 3 units at one time, and I'm not for sure if you can hit 3 units at one time, but I can guarantee you can hit 2 units at one time and they get frozen, and it does a lot of damage. So it's really good in comboing with hitting whatever unit, and then next to it being an assassin, and then that value will just shoot up, as well as you can use Chomper to deny Dougies, a 2-cost for 4 energy. The same thing with being able to counter Cyborg Kenny or Inuit Kenny, the 2-cost for 4-cost assassins. It can be very good. It can also have a lot of failure. There's chances where units will walk across the Chomper, and somehow they will walk off of it after they've triggered it and not take the damage from Chomper. So Chomper will get triggered and it will not hit anybody at all. So it's possible that you can hit 2 units, and it's possible that you can hit no units with Chomper. So it's kind of weird how that works. But so maybe I wish they could like increase the area that it does damage, or whatever does its effect. So then maybe that would let you hit 3 units, but it would also guarantee that 1 unit wouldn't walk on it and then walk off of it, because that does seem to be the case. But anyway, I'm kind of sitting on Chomper for a long time, but I do really like this card. I just wish you could put it on your opponent's side of the field and it would do better. or at least have twice as long of a timer, as I think would make it much better. So next we got here in the D category, the Coon, the 5-cost epic card. He gains attack based on how many superheroes on the field. So he's pretty low on the list. He's actually one of the lowest cards on the list, and it's mainly because you have to kind of compare him to all the other kind of tanks or 5-cost units, and he just doesn't have that same wow factor, and he 100% relies on you using other superheroes on the field. If you're using another theme, it's going to prevent him from being able to be at his full potential, or make you even want to use him in the first place. So being able to increase his attack per superhero on the field can be good. You can figure out a way to do it, but it can be quickly taken away from him, and then he's just a unit on the field that has no stun. He has no way to keep himself alive longer, which is the biggest thing that tanks need, is an ability to keep themselves alive longer from either slowing units or freezing units around them. That's or being able to cripple their amount of damage that they can do to him in one way or another that makes a tank a really good tank. And he doesn't have any of those wow factors around him. The extra damage you can get much more consistently from another unit, and even one like 6th Element Randy, for instance, who is not as tanky as the Coon, but consistently going to do the damage that you're actually looking for. So Coon definitely needs, well, he doesn't, if he just has higher stats, then he's just OP from that one factor, and maybe that's what he needs, but he just doesn't have that survivability ability. And that's where he falters for sure. So next we've got here is going to be Captain Diabetes, the 2-cost fighter with the ability to double his health, and with the charged ability that doubles health and his attack for like 10 seconds or however long it is. I feel like he's kind of a sleeper card. You can kind of cast him to the side somewhere, and then when your opponent tries to play against him, they'll play something weak, and then all of a sudden Captain will get stronger and he can do better. And for being a 2-cost unit, he definitely makes it work for that 2-cost for sure. He definitely has the stats to make him worth almost a 3-cost, right? So he can get his value pretty easily, and then he combos with anybody that's also boosts charge abilities too. So he doesn't really depend on them, of course. So C+, I find him to be much better, more consistent, easy energy value he can get. Next card is going to be Mosquito, the 3-cost rare fighter. He has the ability of Warcry. He spawns the mosquito swarm that flies above his head. So it spawns 2 units, a ground unit and a flying unit. And every time the mosquito swarm attacks, it heals Mosquito for that same amount of damage. Now the thing is, he would have been an S tier card easily. He just recently got nerfed down to where he's a B card. 1, because the mosquitoes don't attack as quickly, and 2, they nerfed his maximum health. So they balanced him out more and made him less of a mandatory card, and he really could out-trade much higher cost units for such a low value. So it makes sense where they put him. Maybe they could have not nerfed him as much, like one or the other instead of both, but it definitely puts him in a more solid position, in a pretty good spot. B tier is not too bad for Mosquito. Next we've got here is Tupperware, the 4-cost common fighter unit. He is immune to all spells, abilities, and something else, whatever it is. Spells, abilities, traps, and charge abilities, I don't know. And so even though he literally doesn't do anything himself, so I feel like he can still be countered pretty easily by just having units attack him, because they don't have anything else to worry about. They just attack him. His another secret ability, doesn't say it, is that he's really heavy, like really heavy. So if PC Principal tries to push him, it doesn't do anything. And if the new kid blast happens and he's in it, it's not going to knock him back. So if he's already attacking the new kid and he gets blown up, he's going to be able to attack the new kid immediately. And he already has really tanky stats. That's the big thing, is he has a good amount of damage, and he also has a lot of health. So he has the value of the 4-cost, and also has the potential to counter a lot of other units. Like, you're not just going to slap Tupperware on the field for no reason at all to set up something or whatever. You're going to use him, you're going to put him down to directly counter something on the field, whether it be a stand of mini moons, or it's going to be Witch Doctor token, or if you're going to combo him with Cock Magic, I guess you could do that too. But anyway, again, that's still just, the Cock Magic would be relying on the other card, but he's a counter unit, so you don't play him just for no reason. And so that's where you can get his value from it for sure. He can be a little tricky though, simply because you can't boost him up yourself, and also a unit like Space Warrior token will shoot past Tupperware and potentially target your new kid. So there's some weird things that you have to look out for playing against or playing with it, what people can do in weird scenarios, I guess you could say. But overall, he is a pretty strong card and has some pretty good consistency. And next we got here is going to be the A tier Toolshed, the 3-cost epic fighter card. He has the charged ability to set down a Chomper trap. That is the equivalent of the trap right above. It's literally the same exact thing. His charge ability comes up pretty quickly, so you can use him and then stall him from walking across the field his Chomper can also combo with any other kind of freeze ability to just completely stop another unit from being able to do anything, pretty much. And it comes back pretty quick. He also has higher stats than Program Stan and some other unit, but I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure that's the biggest comparison, because they're both 3 cost epic fighters, and they're both stands, but Toolshed has more. So just in general, he has really good stats, stall ability, combo combinations. He just doesn't hit S tier simply because it's not something. It's sort of hard to plan where the trap is gonna go, and it doesn't hit like an entire field of units like Stand of Many Moons. So it just doesn't have that super wow factor, but he has a lot of potential and good stats to be able to get good energy value. And next we got here is gonna be Call Girl with a C+ category. She's a 5 cost or 6 cost unit, legendary ranged unit that has the war cry of bringing any superhero from your hand onto the field. It sounds good, but her stats are not very good. Her health is really low, her attack is really low. Her only thing that she's got really good going for her is that her attack is really really fast. So if you were to combo her with something, and again this is why she's lower on the list, but if you're able to combo her with like Bounty Hunter Kyle or Master Ninja or whatever, anything that can boost up her attack, her fast attack can be used more efficiently. But another reason why she fails, besides her stats being weak, is that currently being limited to only spawning superhero cards, there's not enough high cost cards to make it worth it. There's a high chance that you're gonna spawn a low unit, or you're just not gonna be able to play a lot of superheroes in your deck, which, I mean, I guess that's not really a downside to the card itself. You still would be playing to its advantage, so maybe that's not really that bad of a thing, just bringing it up, I guess. But either way, there's not, if there was another 5 cost unit that was a real good tank, not like the Coon, if it was a really good tank, or a 6 cost unit, or a 7 cost unit, especially if there was a 7 cost unit that's the same thing as having Man Bear Pig in the game, like a Mecha Barbara Streisand or whatever, right? Or Cthulhu, you know, if it is in there, then Call Girl has the potential to be much better. But even though that's still relying on another card to be able to do it, it's still her ability to bring that card on the field. So it would just be her and that one other card, and it would be worth it, right? So she depends on something else too much still right now. So nope, not good enough to be any higher on the list. Going on about that a bit too much there, maybe. Human Kite's gonna be the B category card. He is a 4 cost epic ranged unit, and again, this is another card that recently got nerfed that probably would have been A tier, if not S tier also. The ability to shield, a charged ability that shields up units around it. The shield doesn't last as long as it used to, it's only 3 seconds now, and also you can't charge it up as quickly. So to me, it takes a lot more for it to be set up. It doesn't shield as often, so you can't actually get that extra value from it. It's too easily countered at this point. However, you can still get really good value just from that one time of shielding everything, and that's what's gonna make him better than Call Girl. He still has decent attack and okay health, not the best health, but he has okay health. I guess there's not really a lot to say about that. I just think that the shield can still be used really good. That's why he's better than Call Girl. The next card here is Dr. Timothy, and now we can talk about something that makes sense to me. 4 cost rare ranged unit. He has the ability to walk slow. That's one of the most important things in this game when it comes to ranged units, is how slow they are moving across the field. He moves slow, he has a long range of attack, and he has good attack damage. He has amazing health. He can take a wallop and still be able to stay alive. And his biggest ability, or biggest advantage, is his ability, because simply, when it comes down to it, in the majority of games of South Park Phone Destroyer, it's whoever can keep their ranged units alive the longest. So you've got two, you and your opponent both have a ranged unit on the field, and you are just constantly laying units onto the middle of the ground, until eventually one of you has your ranged unit target their ranged unit. Meanwhile, their ranged unit is targeting a fighter or an assassin. It doesn't matter what. But either way, you have been able to target and take down the other ranged unit, giving you the advantage in the fight. Right. His ability is a charged ability that allows you to pick up the farthest unit away from you, which is very different from most units. And it's a pretty big range. It picks up the farthest unit. Guess what the farthest unit is going to be? Most of the time, it's going to be a ranged unit. And it's hard for an opponent to put a different unit back there so that it doesn't target the ranged unit. And thus, you do that 2 different times, hitting the same ranged unit, they're dead most of the time. It depends on the unit, of course. But it's going to do a pretty good amount of damage and sway the battle into your favor, because you're targeting units that are normally untargetable by just straight melee combat, ranged unit combat, not counting like Stand Many Moon's abilities or Ink and Craig or whatever. Anyway, so that's where I feel like he's really good. Yeah, he's got everything going for him good, for sure, 100%. And then, the only card to be able to top him off right here, Mintberry Crunch at the S tier. Ooh wee! He is a 4-cost legendary ranged unit with a war cry of putting a 10 or 15 second health bubble onto units that are around him when he spawns. It's not that big of an area, but it gives him a pretty good boost of health, and it doesn't really last that long enough most of the time that you're going to use the health, you know, if it's melee units that he's boosting up. But if you boost up ranged units, there's a good chance, or like slow units like Zen Carbon or whatever, there's a good chance that they never even see combat and get hit, so the shield doesn't really matter. So he does a good job of boosting units, but then his charged ability is what is secretly, which obviously can't be that much of a secret, is the real power in this card. Because again, the same thing like Dr. Timothy, so they have two, it's a combination together that makes superheroes a powerful back row units. It makes Mintberry Crunch to where he targets the farthest unit away from him, any direction, and it will shoot a wind swarm of Mintberry Crunch and whatnot directly at them. It doesn't do like a huge amount of damage, but at level 4 it does a pretty significant amount of damage. And again, this is talking about ranged units being able to defeat other ranged units, because majority of the time the farthest unit away from them is going to be a ranged unit, and if it's not, it might attack a fighter and still hit the ranged unit because it's going through them. So you can still get a ton of value hitting multiple units with this ability, and then you can use it multiple times as long as you keep him alive. So even if he didn't have the war cry of giving health to other units, his charged ability is Value City. Value City. You're just gonna get that value. If you can protect Mintberry Crunch, he's gonna get that value. Stick him as far back in the back of your team as possible, and that's how you do it. You know what I'm saying? So the next card we got here is gonna be Mysterion. He is gonna be a 5-cost assassin legendary in the A category. He has the ability of respawning after he dies. This card used to be a potato card. It was not very good. It would have probably been like C- category. But they picked one particular way to buff him, and it made a big difference, which is how fast it takes him to respawn. So when he dies on the opposite side of the field, your opponent's side of the field, how long does it take for him to get back to your side of the field and respawn? They changed it to be 25% faster, and that made him a lot better. If they had done it a little higher, this card would have been S tier for sure. If he was a 4-cost, he would be S tier as well. He's A tier because he's still 5 costs. Even though he has the possibility of getting a high amount of energy value, and that's the big reason putting him up there. And he has good stats because he's a 5-cost assassin, so he has to have good stats. He's similar in a way of getting energy like Energy Staff does. I know and it's a different math way of doing it, but it's a simple fact of the matter is him respawning. There's eventually going to be a time where your opponent has to play a card to defend against Mysterion. That could be a 2 or 3 cost, it doesn't matter. But Mysterion's already respawned 3 or 4 times. So he's already got that 5 energy value, and now all of a sudden you force your opponent to play a whole new card, new set of energy, and instantly he's getting his value. So it's like, it depends on how many units he kills, of course, how much value you're going to get from it. But after so many spawns, it's even if he got no kills the first 4 times, that 5th time where he forced your opponent to spawn a card only because of Mysterion will give you the advantage, because they are forcing them to start playing their hand and pushing to your side of the field, which is a similar thing that Energy Staff does. And another reason why he doesn't make it into the S tier though is because there is a decent amount of ways to counter and just make it to where he doesn't keep respawning onto the field, which is Medusa Bebe, Transmogrification, Cock Magic, Sorceress Leanne. Pretty sure that's it. But so there is ways to prevent him from getting his full value. Medusa being the best way to do it, Cock Magic Leanne being kind of the second best way. But yeah, he gives you a ton of energy value potential, as long as he doesn't get countered in the first 3 or 4 times or whatever, and that, like I said, he gets to spawn, it'll work. Let's not stay on there too longer. I was gonna put this card into the B category, but I realized it is too good. A category, Professor Chaos, 3-cost assassin unit. I just wanted to be able to compare the difference between them and just say that Mysterion was better than Professor Chaos, but the reality is Professor Chaos doesn't rely on randomly respawning and hoping that he can help you, because it's kind of RNG whenever he's respawning. You can have some factor with Mysterion, but anyway, let's not keep talking about him. Professor Chaos has good defense because he can freeze units. It's a good potential to combo with other freeze abilities, other stun, other AoE abilities. It does a good amount of damage for it being a 3-cost stun, you know, to go with it. You can be aggressive. It's a long enough stun that you can be more aggressive. It's not just on your side of the field, so it's not 100% defensive. It's like, at least if you were to say the whole field of 100%, it's at least 75% of the field you can do something with this card. So that's a pretty good amount, and again, it just has good combinations to work with it. So let's keep going. These final two cards are the last two cards that just came out here recently. I decided to leave them for last for you guys, even though most of you might even already know some of my opinion about it. It's going to be Wonder Tweak, C- category. This card, I wanted to be better. I wanted it to be stronger. I'm a little disappointed in Wonder Tweak, a 4-cost ranged unit, rare ranged unit. He has the ability when he war cries, it has a circle that spawns in front of him, which is a tornado, and it will draw all the units into it and hold them together. It does a little bit of damage, mind you. And so he has low health, he has low attack, he has a decent attack speed, okay range, I'm not so for sure in that one. So you're paying the 4 energy for a unit that doesn't have stats, so that means that it has to rely completely on its ability. But guess what? His ability doesn't do that much damage, and guess what? It doesn't stun them either. If they're a melee unit, yes, it's holding them in place so they're not attacking. But if one of your units is standing next to that melee unit inside the tornado, guess what? That enemy melee unit is going to be able to attack. Guess what? If they have ranged units, they can shoot out of the tornado. So they're not stunned. They're just drawn together, which makes it a very limited ability, and then it doesn't do any damage. So it means that you have to combo it with something else, guaranteed. Otherwise, there's no reason to pull all the units together. Pull them together, Satan, Ink and Craig, Fireball, Aerostorm, Dragon Slayer Red, Sizzler Stewart. Yes, there's plenty of combos, but all your other units are the ones that are going to have to actually do the damage and do the stun and whatever. That could have been done even without Wonder Tweak. Now, you say that Wonder Tweak will pull them together to be able to do the stun damage or whatever, and that's sort of true. Sort of. It's not a big enough circle to really justify the energy value. Maybe if he was a 3-cost, he would be much better. Maybe even up to B tier. Maybe just because of the lower cost and then still being able to combo his ability. But it's just, he's too weak. He's a weak tweak, man, and I'm sad for that because I like Wonder Tweak. But on the other hand, Super Craig, we put him in the C+ category. Now, he had some hard competition with the other superhero cards, but he's still I really like him. I like Super Craig. I think he's a really great card for 3-cost fighter common card. He has the ability to punch from a distance, so even though he's a melee unit, he's a ranged unit basically, and he attacks in a cone, so he has a really good chance of countering swarm units, and he has the ability to attack through units, wide, long, not that wide and long, but I really feel like he should have been a 2-cost card. If he was a 2-cost card, I would have easily have put him in A tier instead of Toolshed, maybe, or something. I would have figured something out, but he just does. Why is he not 2-cost? I wish he was, but whatever. Anyway, I really think he's pretty good. I like his stats. I like his health. I mean, he's not overwhelmingly powerful. He's not going to make a huge difference in a fight, but he definitely has a place in decks, but just because of the AoE ability and decent stats. But that's it, guys. That is my whole tier list video. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Let me know what you guys think about my tier list video. These are based on my thoughts, mostly on me fighting against these cards, and then somewhat of just me playing the game and understanding game mechanics. You know what I'm saying? So we're just gonna have to put it down to you. But alright, guys. Yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think about it. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Don't forget to bring a towel. Peace out.
Young people from all over the globe are joining up to fight for the future.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part too.
They're doing their part. Are you? Join the Tell Nation and save the world. Service guarantees citizenship.